One of the things that fascinated me about season two was Emily's struggle with fame and that sort of looming doom she had with it. Could you talk a little bit about that journey and maybe what aspect of that resonated the most with you?
Sure, of course. I think the curiosity and possible confusion that Emily has towards fame is I found more relatable to me than her struggle necessarily. Um, but I love that this season really challenged me into a way of thinking about fame that I never have before. It's really not anything I've thought much of, which you know I don't think it's a good or bad thing. I've always been really focused on my work, and that's why I do what I do, and that's why I love what it's the part I love about what I do, and everything else is just kind of a bonus, I guess, just kind of comes with the territory. But with Emily sort of asking herself all these questions, I myself had to think of what my answers would be, and it was challenging to find what those were. So this season was fun for me to kind of dig into this world of what my life is personally.
Now, on a similar note, was there anything about Emily's journey here that shocked or surprised you? And then could you tease that for people who haven't had the pleasure of seeing season two yet?
Sure, I think there really is never not been something. There has never not been something about her or her story that hasn't shocked or surprised me. Whether it has to do with the way she reacts to a certain situation, handles herself in a certain situation, or just purely gets herself into. I mean, there's always something, especially in this show. Uh, I guess what I'm always fascinated by, though, is how she always goes back to her writing because that's what makes her feel alive. And that's what this show is. It's constantly exploring what it means to be alive. And this season goes into so many different directions, and it always comes back to that. And even though she hits these roadblocks and these writer's blocks, um, writer's block, she gets through it. And I think with a year where we've had so many obstacles present themselves in front of us, we've had to get through it, and overcome them. So that's something that always fascinates me about her. Is she always manages to do that.
Now, I would be remiss if I did not ask, considering the outlet that I work for, what excites you the most about your role as Kate Bishop in Hawkeye?
I don't even know where to begin. I'm so excited to bring her to life, a character that is loved by so many. And there are so many amazing characteristics and elements of Kate Bishop in the comics that we are bringing into her in this series. And it's been so fun to figure out what those are and how we're interpreting them and how we're bringing them to life. And um, I've already had a few moments myself where I'm like, this is so wild. I've always been a fan of comics. I'm a very visual person, so I've always been drawn to just the visual aspect of them and being able to feel like I can flip through it and really digest it easily. And so this is so fun because I feel like I'm seeing these comic books in front of my face every day at work, which is a very cool thing. So I feel like I've had total moments where I'm like geeking out and got to play it cool. But I'm just so excited to bring this character to life because there's so much about her, like I said, throughout the comics and from what we know of her history that I get to pull from, which is the dream. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. That's all the
Of
time
course.
that I've got. Good luck with the rest of your season
Thank
two
you.
launch.